2016.
Before that, it was this kook with his book, Michael Wolff. Everybody didn't trust him, but anyway, he was good for a week. And then we get to hear from this idiot for a week. And it goes on and on and on.
And
the media
Peter Strzok is the guy
hate Trump. Here's what they're trying to do. They know that Trump supporters aren't going to be persuaded by any of this.
Collusion without
but what they're trying to do is get the people out there who don't really pay a lot of attention, who may not be Trump supporters, and they keep driving the stake and grabbing anything they can.
I get a lot of heat,
including
and these
porno star who I've never heard of.
go to
Any of
these
these people
professors
before. And all of a sudden, they're presented to the American people as if they're truth
well, that is true.
This Anderson Cooper, you know, I didn't watch this. You showed this on your show earlier. The questions he was asking.
And I look
Has he
up
no
those
shame?
crimes, and
Is
they
he
have
not
no
embarrassed?
application or
The
relevance
children of this country
to collusion
to listen
in a
to
political campaign or any of the facts related to
sex when you had sex.
I hear
What
there's
is
a
it?
lot more coming.
And this is only 3,000 pages that they keep going back to and finding little nuggets. How many more pages
Stormy
are going to be
Daniels
available?
and so forth and so on.
Smoking Stormy.
Imagine that, out of 1.2 million or more documents, pages, that the Inspector General, Michael Horowitz, has collected and is used for this investigation. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, Sean. And, you know, as far as like going back to Flynn, remember McCabe was the one that ordered, you know, them to go interview Flynn. And so this is going to be very interesting to see what they get.
All right, thank you both.
You told Donald Trump to turn around and take off his pants.
Back, Geraldo Rivera, Dan Bongino, the great one.
You're young,
Mark
you like
Levin weighs in on Stormy story and phony fake news. Straight ahead.
Oh, Lord.
And you had sex with him?
Yes.
Do you want to be with her?
This program is brought to you by Belfort Property Restoration.
Did you want to have sex with
restoring more than property.
But I didn't
really
say no.
You're not interested in being with him. He's just a customer, right?
Our wedding pictures.
Or are you interested in being with him?
Can you imagine losing everything you've got?
You work in an industry where condom use is an issue. Did he use a condom?
No.
Did you ask him to?
No.
So you had sex with him.
And you see the human spirit come back. To be able to put you safely back in your home matters to us.
That wasn't hard to do.
And
by the way,
restoring more
if they want to fight,
Why buy the same old yellow box for hemorrhoids? Recticare Complete Hemorrhoid Care System has two effective medications. The strongest OTC concentration of lidocaine to relieve pain and itch, plus phenylephrine HCl to reduce swelling. Get more complete hemorrhoid relief with Recticare
It's not really the media. You've got a lot of people who've poured into these stations and poured into these newspapers that had minimal experience, very thin backgrounds, ideological agendas.
The Clear Choice one-day approach is making dental implants a reality for people all over the country who suffer from missing a
not only interfering with our elections, but threatening us. We have China that's threatening us, stealing our technology. We have rogue top officials at the FBI. We had rogue officials at the DOJ.
This is not a one-time event. This is what went on and on and on. And this is why the defendant is guilty.
Now, we are still waiting on the jury's decision for Ballinger. We'll have more on this case tomorrow.
Good Tuesday evening, everybody. As we look at temperatures across the area, you can see they have slipped into the upper 30s and low 40s. Here's what it looked like at 7:30 this morning on the live webcam. Stanton, Fremont, Muskegon, Holland, Spyglass condos, wet pavement up there in Fremont. Watch as we go through the day. You see some very heavy rain there in Fremont, much the same on the lens there in Muskegon. A lot of areas picking up about 4/10 to as much as 6/10 of an inch of precip, so it was some much needed rain. 49 and 31, those are the actual and normal high and low temperatures respectively for this time of the year. All of us in the 50s today except Muskegon stopped at 49 degrees. Morning lows were in the low 40s. I've got nothing on live Doppler radar right now if you're going out this evening or overnight into tomorrow morning. We're talking about dry conditions. We've got some rain moving through the Ohio Valley. That's going to continue to lift off to the north and east and stay out of our area. But this gray shading is cloud cover that extends just back to the north and west of Madison, Wisconsin. We'll stay mainly cloudy for the next several hours, but by the time we get into about 5, 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, we may start to break some of that cloud cover up, and there may be some areas of fog out there as well. Here's the actual air temperatures locally here. We're mostly around 40 to 42 degrees. And as we look at our bus stop forecast for tomorrow, sunrise occurs at 7:31. At 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, temperatures in the mid-30s. I'll call it variably cloudy, maybe some areas of fog out there as well. Up to 47 degrees tomorrow at noon with partly cloudy skies. Mostly sunny tomorrow afternoon, and keeping in mind 49 is the normal high for this time of the year. We'll be up around 57 degrees with some sunshine in here, so that'll be an enjoyable day. And then there is a chance of some more rain in the forecast. We'll talk more about that and have the weekend forecast right through Easter Sunday and beyond coming up at about 10:35. See you there. Derek?
Kev. Members of the community addressed the Grand Rapids City Commission tonight on the topic of affordable housing in the city.
Yeah, the commission is hoping to increase that availability, something they say they've been working on with their Housing Now project. Fox 17's Rebecca Russell joins us after attending tonight's meeting. Rebecca?
Right, Derek and Annie. Well, this Housing Now project started back in 2015 with 11 different goals that would increase the amount of affordable housing in Grand Rapids. Now, 4 of those 11 recommendations have already been approved, and tonight there was a public hearing to discuss amendments to 4 more of those recommendations. Many residents are upset not with the fact that the city wants to increase the amount of affordable housing, but rather how they're going about doing it. Before we get into that, let's just go over what the city has already approved. That includes lower tax rates for owners of low-income housing, home ownership incentives, also the city buying property for affordable housing. At tonight's City Commission meeting, they went over the amendments to 4 more recommendations. That includes incentives to build duplexes or multi-unit homes by changing zoning ordinances, making it easier to do so. Also, a density bonus for developers, meaning they create at least 20 units with a certain percentage being affordable housing. Another recommendation, allowing accessory dwelling units by right, meaning homeowners can add residential spaces to their primary residence whenever they want. The last one, making changes to policies regarding non-condo zero lot line units, so housing units attached to each other in a row. Now, obviously, this is a lot of information to digest, which is something many residents agree with, saying the wording can be confusing at times and hard to understand. Some residents also tell me they feel like their voice wasn't heard in these considerations, lacked transparency, and was rushed. There was more than an hour of public comment at tonight's meeting, largely dominated by this issue, but we did hear from residents on both sides, including representatives from the Garfield Park neighborhood and the Heritage Hill neighborhood associations.
We recognized the citywide crisis of housing supply and affordable housing and evaluated their impact on our neighbors and our neighborhood. Garfield Park Neighborhood Association is the second largest neighborhood in the city, representing more than 5,000 households from a broad range of ethnic, economic, and educational backgrounds.
The Heritage Hill Association opposes the proposed zoning ordinance text changes. We believe these code changes are premature and were not properly vetted.
Now, the public comment was also largely dominated by individual residents who are upset with what the recommendations could mean for their own homes, with issues like decreased property values, competition for on-street parking, and giving power to developers with no connection to Grand Rapids.
Residents have invested in their homes based on future consistency of the neighborhood where they live. Developers have no personal connection to these communities, nor will they suffer the negative impacts. The affordable housing shortage is not solved by selling out those residents that live near commercial zones. Now that apartment buildings have consumed virtually every available parcel, often with insufficient parking, developers are salivating over our neighborhoods.
Now, nothing was decided on tonight, and this doesn't appear to be the last that we're going to be hearing about the issue. Now, there's still 3 more recommendations on that Housing Now list that haven't been discussed. Of course, there's a ton of information out there about this you can read. We'll have links to that on our Fox 17 mobile app. Now, the next City Commission meeting is scheduled for April 10th, but the agenda for that has not yet been posted, so there's no word on when this is going to be discussed next. For now, in the studio, Rebecca Russell, Fox 17 News.
All right, keep an eye on that. Thanks, Rebecca. Meanwhile, the video drew a whole lot of attention last fall. Police in Grand Rapids handcuffing an 11-year-old girl.
And today, the force announced an update on a policy that would improve police interactions with kids. We'll have that update.
And the Grand Rapids Airport will be getting a multi-phase facelift soon. The price tag of the renovation and just how long it'll take to complete coming up.
And we've all seen service dogs out and about in the community, but what about when you try to take a goat on a public bus? We'll tell you what happened to one man in Detroit next.
We are inspired by one thing, your health. It drives every accessible, affordable, world-rocking, groundbreaking thing we do. It's why we stand with you and fight for you. Spectrum Health. Inspire, innovate, impact.